Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, Verse 15. Kim injane habhutanam swasva karmanuvartinam anishe nan yatakar tom swabhava vihitam ninam. Translation by the devotees of Srila Prabhupada disciples. Living beings in this world are forced to experience the consequences of their own particular previous work. Since Lord Indra cannot in any way change the destiny of human beings, which is born of their own nature, why should people worship him? Report. Lord Krishna's argument here is not a negation of free will. If one accepts the existence of karma as a system of laws, awarding reactions for our present activities, then we ourselves, according to our nature, will decide our future. Our happiness and distress in this life have already been adjudicated and fixed according to our previous activities. Not even the demigods can change that. They must award us the prosperity or poverty, sickness or health, happiness or distress due us by our previous work. However, we still retain the freedom to select a pious or impious mode of activity in this life. And the choice we make will determine our future suffering and enjoyment. For example, if I was pious in my last life, in this life the demigods may award me great material wealth. But I am free to spend my riches for good or for bad purposes, and my choice will determine my future life. Thus, although no one can change the karmic results due him in this life, everyone still retains his free will, by which he determines what his future situation will be. Lord Krishna's argument here is quite interesting. However, it neglects the overriding consideration that we are all eternal servants of God and must satisfy him by all that we do. Mukam karori vachanam pangam langhate girim Bhaktipantamam vande Shri Gurum Tinotarinam Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramiditam Yajna Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Krishna is with the Brijbasis. Now the Brijbasis wanted to worship Indra, but Krishna wanted them to worship Govardhan, which is he himself. So this was a battle of love. Who will win? Krishna or the Brijbasis? This time Krishna will win because he convinced the Brijbasis, actually not by his arguments. They didn't care for Indra or Krishna's karma Mimamsa philosophy. They just loved him, wanted to please him. So this time Krishna won, but not always. And Krishna plays with his coward boyfriends. He sometimes loses the game and he has to carry someone on his shoulders. One time he lost the game and he didn't want to do it. His friends are saying, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. He said, and Krishna said, no, I'm too tired. Anyway, I'm God. I'm Narayana. So I don't have to do it. So then, so his friends said, okay, prove you're Narayana. So then he showed his four-armed form and all the people, the opulences and servants worshiping him. And his friend said, okay, today you don't have to do it, but tomorrow you have to carry us. And so they didn't care so much for his Narayan form, like the gopis also. So there's a nice verse in down to 16th chapter, verse 34, where this relationship of Krishna with his devotees is described. Chitraketu is speaking. He said, O unconquerable Lord, although you cannot be conquered by anyone, you are certainly conquered by devotees who have control of the mind and senses. They can keep you under their control because you are causelessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them, and because of this, you also have full control over your devotees. So Prabhupada says in the purport, the Lord and the devotees both conquer. The Lord is conquered by the devotees. Devotees are conquered by the Lord. Because of being conquered by one another, they both derive transcendental bliss from their relationship. Highest perfection of this mutual conquering is exhibited by Krishna and the gopis. The gopis conquered Krishna and Krishna conquered the gopis. Thus, whenever Krishna played his flute, he conquered the minds of the gopis, and without seeing the gopis, Krishna could not be happy. So Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Bhagavatam says, Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the original personality of Godhead. He has 6 opulences, and no one can defeat him in those 6 opulences, except, beauty. Radharani can't defeat him because Radharani is more beautiful than Krishna, because even Krishna, everyone's attracted to Krishna, but Krishna is also attracted by Radharani. So in beauty, he's conquered. So in renunciation, the gopis also conquered him. But Radharani is more beautiful. I was a pujari in Calcutta Temple in the 70s, and I was instructed that Radharani has to be made more beautiful than Krishna. So I would dress Krishna, and my husband would dress Radharani, and Radharani had to be more beautiful. So yes, Krishna is conquered by the beauty of Radharani. And so also in glorification, Krishna tries to glorify the devotees more. And the devotees try to glorify Krishna more. Krishna is called Uttama Shloka. He's glorified in beautiful verses. And the devotees are called Punya Shloka. This is in a verse from Queen Kunti's prayers 1:832. Punya Shloka Sha Kirtaye. Punya Shloka Sha Kirtaye. That those are very pious and spiritual understanding. Krishna wants to glorify them, and he came here just to glorify Devaki. He became the son of Yashoda to glorify Yashoda. And Krishna was conquered by Arjuna. Arjuna ordered him, you drive my chariot between the 2 armies. And so, yes, Krishna has 10 hands. He can conquer us if we want to offer with our 2 hands. What can he has 10 hands to accept. And if we want to try to keep something with our 2 hands, then Krishna has his 10 hands. He can take it away. Now there's a verse in 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 7, where it says that actually the scientists may one day count the molecules of the sun. They may count the snowflakes. They may count the atoms of the earth, but they cannot count the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Now, it's very interesting. Ananta Shesha, who is holding up Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, he was able to count the atoms of the earth, was able to count the atoms of the earth, the snowflakes, and the molecules of the sun rays. But he has failed to count the qualities of Krishna with his 1,000 hoods, and he's glorifying Krishna with his 1,000 hoods, but he hasn't found the end of Krishna's qualities, and he's been singing since before the beginning of time. Eternally, Ananta Shesha is singing the glories of Krishna. But Krishna has failed with the gopis. Yes, he said, I cannot repay your debt. So how can we conquer Krishna? Chaitanya Charitamrita gives us advice. There's a beautiful verse glorifying Gauri time. One day Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Saharitau Gauratai Pushvantau Chittau Shandatamau Nudau So that means I worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, who have appeared to dispel the ignorance. They appeared simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dispel the ignorance. So it's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita about Adi Lila around 1 verse 100, chapter 1, verse 100, that how we can conquer Krishna. First of all, we worship Gaur-Nitai. And just like the sun dissipates the darkness when the sun comes up, and we can see things, we can see external objects. But Chaitanya Charitamrita's external object says external objects like plates and bowls. But when Gaur-Nitai enter our hearts, they can dissipate the darkness of the inner core of our heart. So what happens after they take away the darkness? They help us to meet two kinds of Bhagavatas. That is the devotee Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat. And what happens if we do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, if we serve these Bhagavatas, then we get bhakti. Now, what happens when we get success in bhakti? We can control Krishna. So yes, we should worship Gaur-Nitai and associate with the Bhagavatas and do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, and we can actually control Krishna's beginning of Bhagavatam. It describes Sadhya Hridya Viruddhate Krakitibi Shishishubhi Stakshanan. If we hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively and without criticism, open heart, then the result will be that we can capture Krishna in our heart. This is what's happening in our heart. If we hear attentively the message of Bhagavatam, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda, we meet the two Bhagavatas, get Krishna Prema, and Krishna comes under our control. So Lord Brahma, in his prayers, also described 10:14:3. Gyane prayasam udupasana eva. First of all, forget whatever you learned. Jivanti samakaritam bhavadi yavartam. Hear from the devotees. The speech was like flowing rivers. Yes, water is one of our 24 gurus, according to Uddhava Gita in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, that when the devotees speak, it is like the flowing water. It's sweet in the sound, and it makes your heart feel soothed and calmed. So we need to hear the words flowing from the mouth of the pure devotees. And then you stay in your position and just hear. Whatever position you are, offer obeisances with your body, mind, and words. Tanu vamanopi. And ye prayashoji tajito pasitaisti lokam. If you do this, you will conquer Krishna by your attitude of submissive hearing. Again, hearing is stressed. Shinvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shavana. It's pious. It's spiritually pious. And so you stay in your position, throw away whatever materialistic knowledge you have learned with your body, minds, and word. Offer all respects. And if you do that, you will conquer Krishna. And you yes. So Sanatana Goswami has explained the words Tanu Vamano, body, minds, and words in three ways in reference to devotees. Through their body, mind, and words, they are able to conquer Krishna. And you become perfect in Krishna consciousness. You can touch his lotus feet with your hands, call him to come with your words, and attain his direct audience within your mind, just by thinking about him. So what are some examples of how devotees conquered Krishna? After the battle of Kurukshetra, Yudhisthira won the battle. What? He didn't want to be the king. He didn't want to be the emperor. He felt bad that for his sake, so many were killed. Krishna could not convince him. Why could, and all the sages could not convince him. Vyasadeva, all the sages. Why couldn't Krishna convince Yudhishthira? Because Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishma. And also, another way Yudhishthira conquered Krishna, he controlled Krishna by love. When Krishna was leaving Hastinapur to go to Dwarka, then Yudhishthira convinced him to stay. And he accepted the prayers of Kunti Devi. And but Yudhishthira stopped him on his way and said, please stay. And a few days more. And so Krishna is independent. He could have refused. No, I cannot stay more. I have my devotees in Dwarka. But Premna, out of love, Yudhishthira, he cannot order the Supreme Personality of Godhead to stay or undo his decision, but with prema, everything is possible. So by love. So if we increase our love for Krishna, Krishna becomes purchased by us. So Yudhishthira conquered over Krishna's decision. It's not exactly we're controlling Krishna, but Krishna wants to be controlled, like a father wants to be controlled by his children sometimes. Giving the children the horseback ride, riding on the father's back. And sometimes they may kick the horsey, the father, and the father feels some relief. It's like massaging. So everyone worships Krishna as the Supreme Lord, Vaikuntha. So Krishna wants to be thought of sometimes as insignificant subordinate. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says, everyone worships me, but if somebody controls over me, I'm very happy. Yes. Yeah. In Kartik, Krishna enjoys being controlled by Yashoda. I have one friend who lives in Vrindavan, and she had that kind of relationship with Krishna where she was chastising Krishna. She lives in the Goshala, which is about a 5-minute walk to the temple. So I was there one day when she came in front of the deities, and she was soaking wet because it rained on the way, and she was chastising Krishna. Why did you get me wet? Why? How come you got me so wet? I wanted to see you. Why did you send that rain? Sometimes another devotee was, my god sister Radhakund was in Jagannath Puri distributing books, and whole day she was in front of Dinabandhu, the Jagannath you could see from the street. And she was distributing books. And then one Jagannath Dasi, person who lives in Puri Vasi, came to her and said, what are you doing? She said, I'm trying to sell these books and nobody's taking. So then that devotee who lived in Puri went to Jagannath and started chastising Jagannath. You see your devotee here. She's trying so hard to distribute your books and you're not helping her. And then after he chastised, then she started distributing books nicely. And so, yeah, he likes to be chastised by his devotees sometimes. He's controlled. Prahlad also. Prahlad, he didn't chastise, but he depended. He remembered. He thought of Krishna. Krishna Graha, one of the verses says in 4th chapter, 7th canto. So he got more mercy than Lakshmi, than Shiva, than Brahma. But although he conquered Krishna, he remained a humble servant of Narada Muni. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, when Lord Krishna appeared on the shore of the ocean, he placed Narada on his lap and caressed him like a mother. He honored Prahlad, ignoring Brahma, Shiva, and all the demigods offering prayers, even his goddess, Padma. And so Nishinga was furious after killing Hiranyakashipu. No one could pacify him, even the wife. Garuda, Brahma, they were standing at a distance. They were too afraid to come near him. So then Brahma requested Prahlad, you go. And so then it says in Brihad Bhagavatam, he sat on the ground, put Prahlad on his lap, and was gently rocking Prahlad back and forth and patting Prahlad with his lotus hand, embracing him repeatedly as a mother embraces her child. And so he attended to Prahlad, disregarding the many other exalted persons present. So Srila Prabhupada was also controlling Krishna and controlled by Krishna. When he was on the boat coming from India to America, he had 2 heart attacks, and he dreamt that the Lord in his different incarnations was rowing his boat to Boston. So in the 3rd canto, 16th chapter, verse 7, the Lord speaks, because I'm the servant of my devotees. My lotus feet have become so sacred, they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition. The goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her, and others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, relationship between the Lord and his devotee is transcendently beautiful. As a devotee thinks it's due to being a devotee, he's elevated in all good qualities. So the Lord thinks it is because of his devotion to his servant, all his transcendental glories have increased. So as the devotee is always anxious to serve the Lord says, although he has that quality, anyone who gets a slight particle of the dust of his lotus feet becomes a great personality. This greatness is due to his affection for his devotee. So Prabhupada, he glorified Krishna so much. Now almost everyone has heard Krishna's name, but he never took credit for himself. So there's a competition between Krishna and his devotee, who will serve the other more. So we need to make our relationship with Krishna. Why? Why should we make relationship with Krishna? Krishna is Satchidananda. He's got eternal, blissful knowledge body, and we will also get that. We will regain our Satchidananda body. And he's Janaka Janani Daito Tanai. He's our mother, our father. He's our dear one. And he's our Prabhu, he's our Guru, he's our Pati, our husband, and he's everything. So we should make our relationship with Krishna, because we're not satisfied with the temporary relationships of this world. We can only be satisfied with Krishna. And Krishna has all the qualities we're looking for in a relationship. In that verse I quoted, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 7, there is a Sanatana Goswami is quoted, and he says that Krishna has a quality that will attract each and every one of us individually. He has a special quality for each and every one of us, that he will attract us to him. So we have to find that quality that Krishna is attracting us. Why? Yes, so the residents of Vrindavan, they're overwhelmed in loving service to Krishna. So they were the most fortunate, most intelligent, most wonderful of all living beings, most elevated. Uddhava Gita, it says, this process of bhakti is the supreme intelligence of the intelligent, the cleverness of the most clever. For by following it, one can in this very life make use of the temporary and unreal to achieve me, the eternal reality. So this whole Uddhava Gita is talking about the difference between the temporary and the eternal. So at the conclusion of Uddhava Gita, it says, the devotees are the smartest people on the earth because they use the temporary to get the eternal. We're using this temporary body. That's what we're using. And so many things we are using besides the body. So there's a commentary again. It says the Lord says that the most intelligent, clever person is devotee who offers his temporary, illusory material body and possessions to Krishna with love, without personal motivation. So, yes, we have this body. What is the use of it? What is the value of this body? If we can trade it in, we can trade in this body for to get an eternal body with Krishna. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we should do. We should try to do that. Trade in this material body for a spiritual body. And Krishna, if we do that, Krishna will give himself to us. And if we get Krishna, wow, we got everything. So, yes. So Krishna is reality, The holy name is the only reality in this world. So if we chant Hare Krishna, make our relationship with Krishna, and we think, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And one day Krishna will come in the holy name and say, here I am, here I am. And so let's do that. Let's make our relationship with Krishna. One day we'll meet Krishna and experience that relationship ever new. So Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. There is a story about a person who had a near-death experience. They were taken to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, yes, you are sinful, you must suffer. So then he asked his secretaries, did this person do anything good in their life? And they said, well, yes, they did one good thing. When the devotees were chanting Hari Nam and they were passing by, this person waved to the Hari Nam. All the court of Yamaraj said, oh. And then Yamaraj said, how many times did they wave? He said, 4 times. He said, okay, go back. You got another chance. They became a devotee, of course. So yes, we have a wonderful chance to make a relationship with Krishna and go back to home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Narayani. Devi Dasi, beautiful class. Did that devotee describe Yamaraj?
No. They didn't describe Yamaraj. Okay.
Andrea, followed by Rupesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
obeisance, Narayani Prabhu. Thank you so much for this class. I love the imagery that you gave of Nrsimhadev sitting on the floor with Prahlad and holding him, and it's just such a beautiful image. And we were just celebrating Nrsimha Chaturdasi, and we were at the temple, and there was a parent who was sharing with me, because I do a Krishna Kids program where I'd tell the stories to the children, and she was asking for my advice on how to share the story of Nrsimhadev, the pastime, regarding saying, when they tell in the story, the father that Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill his son. She says that whenever she gets to that part, her son gets very disturbed by that and very upset with the whole idea, and he always looks to his father, and he's just kind of she can't tell if he's thinking, does my father want to kill me? And so I didn't really have a very good answer for her, and I was just wondering if you have any insight to that.
Yeah, you could explain to your son that Hiranyakashipu was not a devotee father. He was a demon father. So you're so fortunate. You have a devotee father. He worships Nrsimhadev. You're so lucky. So, and Prahlad, he was unfortunate because his father hated Krishna. He hated everything like that. So, yeah, you can tell him that. You have a devotee father.
Rupesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Truly blessed with your inspiring story of Krishna driving the ship of the Jaladuta of Prabhupada. His meditation of that is really, really inspiring forever. I think that's the first time I've heard that, and that's truly inspiring, Mataji. And I have 2 mundane questions, forgive me. I'm just started my first step on the path. So I'm just trying to comprehend that. So the first question would be, you are sharing that Krishna loves the beauty of Radharani, your husband and you serving Krishna. You shared the story that Radharani Mataji is so beautiful. The mother is so beautiful. So which opulence of so many opulences of Krishna? Of course, he has unlimited, and then Prabhupada and 6 of us for folks like us. which one did Radharani Mataji love the most? Like, was it his sense of attractiveness or renunciation? Which would she really pick if she had to?
I don't think she would pick renunciation because he renounced
Yeah, that's right.
Mathura. That didn't make her happy. The beauty would be there. That she's captivated by his beauty.
By attractiveness, right?
Yeah, the five senses. All the five senses are attracted by his five smell and taste and all these things.
Beautiful.
Touch.
Beautiful, Mata, truly blessed. And the second question is, Krishna was born. So what fortune did Vasudev, the Prabhu did? I mean, in those days, that Krishna was born. Even Dashratha did. That Rama was born, in the sense. So what is that special? I mean, all are devotees, but what was that special characteristic or special level of devotion that they did, that they were so fortunate to bring his divinity to the earth, to such souls, fallen souls like her, and get their blessings? So maybe
About Devaki and Vasudev.
I know the story, but I would love to hear the devotional aspect of what they might have done.
Well,
It's like,
the devotional aspect was, even though they had three births. They had the Lord as their child, Krishna Garbha, and then Kashyap and Aditi had Vamanadev, and then they came for 3 times. So the devotional aspect was they didn't care to go back to Godhead. They didn't ask for liberation or let us go to the spiritual world. Their devotion was that they renounced the desire for their own enjoyment in this world to serve Krishna. Because they wanted Krishna as their son. So therefore they didn't ask anything from the Lord. And that's pure devotional service.
so they sorry, Mataji, if I got it. So they desire to be eternal servants of Krishna even in this mundane material world.
Yeah,
And
in the material world.
they left Goloka Vrindavan for that, even for
No, they were here and they didn't want to even go there.
beautiful Mataji. I think I got my answer. Truly blessed, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you have to be someone like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right?
Yes.
He prayed to Krishna to send his representative as his child, right? Narayani Desi, would you like to elaborate on that, on Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his qualities?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Well, it appears that he was a Nitya Siddha that was sent here to spread the Krishna conscious movement. And he was fearless. And he not only did he spread Krishna consciousness, he had like 11, 12 children, I forget how many. And he did his duty as a grihasta. He had a job as a judge. And he didn't sleep much, like Prabhupada. He would write his books at night, hundreds of books. He was writing at night, and so he was well-rounded. Of course, at the end of his life, he did renounce everything, and the family and everything, and then he did pray for help because he felt like he couldn't do it himself. There were so many sampradayas, and they were challenging. And so he did pray, and he got the ray of Vishnu that he wanted. And when Bhaktivinoda was too sick to go, there was a huge debate, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta with the Brahmanas. It was the Brahmanas who were opposing, the caste Brahmanas. And so he sent Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and he won that debate against the Brahmanas and the people, thousands of people, in front of thousands of people. So yes, he did. He also, the year of Srila Prabhupada's birth, he sent his book to the West. I believe in Canada, the devotees got a copy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, which he sent in 1896 to Canada. And so that was, yeah, it's very amazing. And if you, his bhajans, if you sing his bhajans, you can understand how to surrender Sharanagati, how to surrender to Krishna, six steps. And you know, sometimes I hear these bhajans, Prabhupada singing them, and it's like, you know, how could a pure devotee feel like I wasted my whole life and I, you know, and these kind of things and feel so low. But that's the humility of pure devotee.
Thank you. I was just thinking this morning, I would have never gotten across something like Krishna consciousness if not for Srila Prabhupada's grace.
Yes.
And somebody took the time to pray for Ray of Vishnu in their life. And then we have people like Prabhupada, I mean, Krishna's representatives like Prabhupada, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's all by their grace that we're here.
Exactly. Yeah, I can, when Srila Prabhupada arrived in Boston, he wrote that famous poem. And he looked at the people, he said, impossible. These people, no way I can change their mind. He said, but if they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then their heart can be changed. And then he said the most important thing. He said, first he said, by your wish, Krishna, you can deliver them. And then he said in his prayer, I wish that they be delivered. So that's why we're here. Because Prabhupada had the desire. So Prabhupada had the desire that we all be delivered. So that's why pure devotee has that desire, then Krishna must fulfill it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we may be fallen and hopeless, but it's Prabhupada's desire that we be liberated. Thank you.
Exactly.
Very good point. Krishna Daya Prabhu, followed by William.
Thank you, Narayani Prabhu, for the wonderful class. Especially, I appreciate the point where you brought these two words in a frame, that is Uttama Shloka and Punya Shloka. Uttama Shloka is Lord and Punya Shloka is exalted devotees. That's really inspiring. Thank you so much.
Prabhupada said in his lecture, in his verse. That's where I got that from.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. That's my takeaway. And Prabhu, a sort of connected question to what Ananda Bihari Prabhu was telling. Like, yes, Prabhupada has the desire. Of course, Krishna has this desire. Prabhupada also has the intense desire to liberate all of us. I mean, take us back to Godhead. What happens, like you are saying that devotee conquers Krishna and Krishna also conquers devotees. After so much roaming, we came to this path of Krishna consciousness. But at some point of time, like some of us, so we get distracted, and then because of institutional challenges or personal challenges, family challenges, and then we go out of the process. So then Krishna conquers, right? Like of course we are conquered by Krishna, that's why we came. But is it like Krishna conquered and still we are, we left from Krishna? Is it what is the state?
So you're asking if Krishna, if we leave Krishna consciousness, then will Krishna still conquer us? Is that what you're?
I mean, initially Krishna conquered us, that's why we came. But even after Krishna conquering, if we leave, then what is the hope? That's the question.
Yeah. No, there are so many examples in Bhagavatam. Jamila was worshiping Krishna, and then he left. But Prabhupada in a lecture on those verses of Jamila, he said Krishna didn't let him go. And at the end of his life, Krishna in his heart inspired him to name his son Narayan. So then he remembered Narayan, time of death. So an example from our devotees' lives, there is one devotee who left Krishna consciousness because in the old days, there was no toilet paper in the bathrooms. We were doing the Indian system. And he was going, Mangal Artis, oh, this is too early. I can't get up. 3:30 in the morning. What am I doing here? So he left Krishna consciousness. And then he got a job. And the job was a night job. And then he started thinking, wait a minute, it's 2 a.m. I'm working whole night and this is worse. And then what happened to him, he was working in a paper factory. He didn't know what kind of paper. And he had a box. He punctured a box of paper, which is over his head. And hundreds of rolls of toilet paper fell on his head. And then he got the message from Krishna, oh, okay. Better I go back to Krishna consciousness. So Krishna has funny ways of bringing us back to him. There are many devotees, they try to go away, get a girlfriend. I heard another story, and he went to his new girlfriend's room, her house, and she had a picture of Krishna in her room. So Krishna doesn't let us go so easily. He doesn't, even if we try to forget him, we cannot forget him. We cannot forget Krishna. He will make us remember. Yeah, he will take us back. He will bring us back. There's another story. Some ladies, devotees, they were going on an airplane flight, and someone gave them loads of prasadam. And they said, we don't need all this prasadam. They said, anyway, we'll take it. They went on the flight, and they sat next to a man, and the man was in dark clothes, and he was very angry kind of person, and he didn't want to talk to them. And they offered him a little prasad. He said, no, I don't want. But then after some time, the man started talking to them. He says, okay, I was a devotee, and I'm trying to forget Krishna. And I just went to a marriage of my relatives, and there was no prasadam. I was just eating tomatoes. And now I knew when I saw you come on the plane, I knew you were going to sit next to me. I knew you were going to give me Krishna. I can't forget Krishna. So he was so happy. He was crying. He ate all the prasad. So Krishna doesn't let us go. We are very fortunate. We have a kind master. No, he will not let us go.
Thank you, Prabhu. So much hope giving. Thank you so much.
Krishna Daya Prabhu, please don't leave. We have plenty of toilet paper for you. Don't go.
No, I'm sure you have a lot of prasadam for me, and then till the time you are there, I will not leave.
Yeah. We have prasadam, we have toilet paper, everything. It's a closed circle.
Yeah, one devotee wanted to leave, and he would leave. And then the feast would come, and he said, "Okay, I'll stay I'll stay." He would eat the feast, and that was it. It was the prasad.
Jai. Okay, Rupesh Kumar Prabhu, you have another question, or?
Yeah, I'm truly blessed with just one simple final question. Mataji is like so loving. Mataji, forgive me about this, Mataji. I'm asking too many questions. So, Mataji, here's the thing. So, you shared Krishna's potencies, right? Achintya, Bheda, Ananta. The way even Adishesha couldn't, with his 1,000 heads, couldn't pray to him. But thankfully for us, Prahlad Maharaj gave us the 9 ways to serve him. So, how about Radharani, Mataji? Like, which is the way to best serve Radharani?
In order to understand Radharani, you have to go through Lord Chaitanya, Gaur-Nitai. So the best way to do that is you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 4, and then when Lord Chaitanya speaks, Rath Yatra time, when that's that chapter 13 of I think it's the 5th chapter of Madhya 5, I think. Well, no, Madhya volume 5, I can't remember. 13th chapter, 14 chapter, Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Radharani. So if you want to understand Radharani, you have to go to Lord Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my life is blessed.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it's darshan time. Please turn your cameras on if you can. Let's take darshan.
Hare Krishna. Hi. Radha Govinda?
Radha Muladhar, Shri
Where are you,
Gaurachandra,
Doctor? That's
and Gaurachandra.
good.
Gaurasharan glanced at us. I feel blessed, like Rupesh Prabhu. Gaurasharan, we love you. Okay. All right, this is it for today. It's Monday, but don't cry, don't lose your hope. Give it to Krishna. It's so nice seeing everybody. Scarlett, William Prabhu, Benicia, Deepa, everybody, Beam. Okay. Hare Krishna. Love you all. Hadi Hadi Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Sundar
Krishna.
Nandaji.